Begin Podfix Network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
Can a straight person become gay? And so apparently the question is yes. So there are these two examples of this happening, which are somewhat funny. There was a 26-year-old rugby-loving Welshman named Chris Burt. This gentleman had a stroke, and through that, he became a queer hairdresser.
Huh?
The end. The end. He was a
So he was a man's
tough-ass-
man.
He was a man's man, rugby-loving Welshman. He had a stroke. He came out of the stroke, and he became a queer hairdresser.
Bullshit. I'm just.
This is what Chris Birch says. And then the second dude was a French man, Didier Gembart. Well, his Parkinson's disease medication turned him into a raving gay sex addict.
He's a damn lie. His Parkinson's disease medicine? Really? I fucking know.
According to him.
You
According to him. Yes.
just own it, man. Stop with all this bullshit. This my stroke made me. My Parkinson's disease medicine made me. Own it.
Okay, so there are some reasons why they claim women flip.
Okay.
Which I don't know about these reasons, but this is what they claim. But before I say that, just so you know, also that this tends to happen more for women during the menopause stage
Ain't
of
that some
life.
shit?
Yeah. So I wonder if there's some
Happened to my aunt.
biology.
Happened to my aunt.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But she flipped back. So
Oh, she did
she did a double flip.
she like, I'm back, y'all. Hey, y'all, I'm back. Okay. So
Like
they
ISIS
claim,
and
right. They claim that these are 5 reasons. The first reason is frustration with men. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I believe it.
Wow.
Yep, I believe it. Yep.
Yeah.
What
I
else you
guess
got?
so. The next one is seriously offensive, I believe, and stupid. Wardrobe expansion.
What the fuck? Okay, who wrote this shit?
Yeah,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
know.
That
I
doesn't
should-
count. Strike
we
that
should
one.
find where they live and go
And go egg their
handle
house.
this.
Next. What else?
Here's the other thing I don't get. Someone soft and pink to talk to.
Okay, this is not real.
But people do say shit like, I like girls because they're so soft.
Something pink. Get the fuck out of here with that.
I don't know what you're talking about. But you haven't heard people like, I like women because they're so soft. You've never heard that?
I guess. I mean, to me, you already like women. You like women.
I think
That's
so
not
too,
flipping.
because I like men because they're so hard.
That's what I like about men, that because they're so hard. Matter of fact, if I
So-
see a man with soft heart, it
I'm
instantly brings to mind woman, and it's not
Women.
attractive to me.
I'm
So I like
like-
men with hips.
I'm like, you're not about to lay here and be succulent with me. Okay. You're not doing it. You're not about to be succulent. Not both of us. I'm doing succulent. You're not doing
I
succulent.
got this head. I got this part covered. I got this side of the field covered.
Right. You're not about to be soft and pink, as they say as well. No.
Okay.
And number 4, they say they do it for great sex.
No, that I can believe that.
Okay, so before some of our podcasts, I was under the impression that lesbians had all of them, phenomenal sex. But we've gotten different information. Like on our show about Goop Love and Sex, those 2 lesbians,
I think that was just them. I do think that was just them. I think that's why they were on Goop, because they had because they had issues.
they didn't know how to lesbian.
They didn't know how to lesbian right. They didn't know how to lesbian right. I think most lesbians probably have it on lock. They probably know what they're doing.
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder because just like on that show, Harlem, the lesbian character, she had a few situations where she was sexually unsatisfied. And also, it was not a given that all lesbians perform oral sex.
Oh, yeah. I always wondered about
The GOP.
GOP.
It's
It goes
not-
both ways.
It goes both ways. So it is not a given that every lesbian is going to go ahead and give great oral.
I believe that. However, I would imagine that I'm going to give it a number. I'm going to say, I don't know this for a fact. You know, if you have other information, please let me know in the comments or whatever. I'm going to bet that 80% of lesbians have great sex.
I want to hear from the lesbians, y'all. I mean, I need to know. Now, I bet you know who could answer this?
Who?
Niecy Nash.
Niecy? Niecy?
Niecy Nash. I would really appreciate her
Hold on, Niecy.
perspective because she was heterosexual for most of
Mhm.
her life.
Sure.
So she has that context in which to speak from. Clearly, she is being sexually satisfied because she was like, let's do this forever.
Let's get married.
Let's get married. Niecy, what's up with the lesbian sex?
I bet they know what they're doing. I'm just going to bet, I would bet 80, I would say 90% of them know what they're doing.
Previous to my research, I would have said 97%. But now I don't know if I've just seen some things where it's like lesbians don't seem to all know what they're doing. And I just don't know. I'm going to need to hear from the lesbians. So if I'm off base here, holla at your girl. Holla at your girl. Okay. I don't know.
But being fed up with men, I can totally see that. I know at least one or two women who were first of all, they were not being sued by men. So their choices in men was very small. So they decided, the one woman I know for a fact, she was like, I don't want to be alone. So she went ahead and went for a relationship with a woman. So she was tired of waiting for a man to pursue her. So she decided to be with a woman.
Wow. Hey, you got to do what, you got to do. So
that's what I mean by fluidity and orientation. I may be oriented a certain way, but that doesn't mean I won't go another way.
Right. And so we mentioned that the menopause stage seems to be a popular time for women to hop on over to the other side, find themselves unexpectedly falling in love with a woman without ever having thought that was possible. And they're saying that it's not that these women have been closeted lesbian their whole life or that they've been in denial about their true feelings. It's that these are women who were perfectly happy with men and are suddenly seeing and feeling things differently. And there is some evidence that choosing a female partner later in life may be a form of evolutionary adaptation. So once a woman reaches menopause and can no longer have children, having a male sexual partner is no longer as biologically important. So that makes sense. And then there's also a theory that if you lose your mate, it's safer for your children to be raised by two women than it is by a woman and a second male. So they are putting some biology with it.
Interesting. That is really, does that make it more palatable?
Probably. There are always going to be people that are going to be threatened by this, though.
I don't understand why. I just don't understand why.
Some of those people are going to be men.
Oh, well.
They're going to be like, you don't want this partially hard little dick of mine no more. You don't want this little chubby no more. No.
I mean, those same men are the ones who try to make us feel bad for the way we look or for getting older or whatever the case. They probably don't want those menopausal women anyway.
Maybe not. Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah, I can see it. I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm like, hey, whatever makes you happy, man. You're not hurting anyone. You want to flip the script, go to the other team. I'll be at the wedding.
Me too. And research shows that there's a higher probability that you're going to be able to have orgasms in your same-sex relationship.
Oh, wow.
So
priority.
Yeah.
The priorities right. For goodness sake.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So I think you're pretty much hitting it on the head. So they're saying that sexual identity is the way you define yourself with respect to your orientation, and your orientation is the pattern of your sexual attraction and preference.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up, because that underscores my assertion, which is what I was trying to get to, which is I don't think anybody is 100% oriented any particular way. I think that we are all fluid in a sense. We just choose to stick with a specific orientation for ease, for social desirability.
And your environment, which I think you're sort of alluding to as well, greatly influences that. So like if you're in an environment where there's only one gender, chances are greater that you're going to orientate, if you don't have any other options, i.e. like prison or you're going to orientate sexually towards that one gender, which if you were not in that environment, you may not do that.
Agreed. And you may have attitude, behavior, inconsistency there. So you may be inclined to prefer a certain gender that to expand on your analogy about being in prison. You may prefer the opposite sex as far as sexually, but because of where you are, because of your situation, you will orient yourself differently because of the circumstance.
Right. And so like right now I'm watching Tyler Perry's Sisters, which comes on BET, which is actually pretty darn good.
Is it? Okay.
It actually is. surprisingly enough, because people like to talk shit about Tyler Perry stuff, even though he's so talented.
He's very rich.
He's very rich. You know, people throw the word no.
Okay.
And people throw the word genius around loosely. I was just talking to my sister about this because she loves the show too. And I said, you know, people like to say, well, one, I was on a rant about Kanye, and you know, people like, well, he's a genius. And I'm like, how the fuck is he a genius when people help him artistically? Prince was a genius.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? Like what we refer to as genius in 2022 is some bullshit. Like if you think about how we grew up with a Michael Jackson and a Prince,
right?
You know, and then you got a motherfucker
I can't give Kanye.
He came and write his own verses, and we thought, well, he's a genius. I fucking disagree. But if you're even talking about Tyler Perry, you may not like all his shit, but he's done some great work. And he writes, directs, produces all of those shows, all of those movies, every episode, created his own studio. If I'm going to throw around the term genius, I'm going to put it on Tyler Perry, because what that man has done, because he brought that out of nothing. Nothing. To me, he is a genius. And if you look at the work he's putting out, and he helped save Oprah's own network with his show, The Have and Have Not.
He did. Yes, he did.
He's a genius. And in parallel to his brilliance, he has the investment in community and philanthropy to go along with it. No fucking questions asked.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, he honored Cicely Tyson before, may God rest her soul, before she passed on, by naming.
Yeah.
He named studio after Whoopi Goldberg, Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
That shit is major. That's genius.
It is.
Yeah. So when we running around here talking about some self-absorbed, questionable asshole in gigantic fireman boots assaulting people, oh, but he's a genius. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Come on back down to earth. I'm off topic.
Amen.
But I brought him up because one of the shows from this said Genius Sisters, there is a character on there that's gay. And so there's this guy on there who hangs out at the gay club, and he fucks the gay guy so he can rob him. And so one of the scenes, he was like, I'm gay for pay. I would never do this shit. I'm not into this shit. I'm gay for pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Can that happen?
I completely believe so. He said he was gay for pay.
Nah, I ain't buying it.
You don't believe
No.
it? You don't believe a person would do stuff for economic gain?
I do. I think that is, you know, the old saying, sow a thought, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a life. Sow a life, reap a destiny. If you were doing that, you know, and it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, hey, you are a duck.
Wow.
Stop playing. I ain't mad, but don't try to piss down our backs and tell us it's raining.
Wow. See, like I do believe that people do crazy things for money. And I'm not sure, I can't remember if this character was supposed to also be on drug or not. I don't remember. But you know, with the crack era, they said a lot of dudes were doing things like drugs. So I think the gay for pay thing is real. Is it like a hell of a step? That's some distance travel. So he was like, so this is what he said when they first hooked up. No kissing. I don't perform no oral. You can perform it on me. I'm a top.
Wow.
I never bottomed, but he was just banging the fuck out of gay men for money.
Wow.
Yes. And I really think that there's like this exists in real life. I think there's truth to it.
I think there's some truth to it. I think there's a lot of truth to it. The only thing that I doubt is, you know, I think people have to do whatever they have to do so that they can sleep at night. That is what reduces cognitive dissonance. You know, when you have cognitive dissonance, is possessing an attitude about something, but doing something completely different or that's counter to what you are saying you believe, just like Christians or whomever. I'm not picking on Christians, but we do it all the time. A lot of people do it. We all do it on some level because we have to justify our act. So, you know, whatever it takes, especially depending on how extreme the action is. You know, if it's something small, we tell a white lie, or we, you know, do something that most people perceive as not cool. We cuss somebody out. I don't know. But the bigger the perceived offense, the more work we have to do to justify it in our heads. And we will say something like, I am gay for pay, because that justifies it. That reduces the cognitive dissonance. I'm saying I'm not gay, but here I am performing gay act. I mean, I have nothing against that. I think that people have to do what they have to do. You know, people often find themselves in all kinds of situations. That's why I never say never, like, oh, I would never do that, or because you just never know what you would do.
You don't. No one knows.
But I think I think that we are all fluid in a sense. It's just that we have been conditioned to behave a certain way. And so now I think in today's society, women are more empowered, if you will, to be more open about their fluid and not have to hide that kind of stuff.
Well, but a lot of that accepted fluidity is for the male gaze. The encouragement of it is for the male gaze.
Yeah.
And it's seen as not being, you know,
authentic.
Potent. It's not potent, you know, it's not like men don't have that same freedom. Like you can't do a little dick. That's considered.
This is true.
Know,
that's in this really, society though. In this
right.
society.
And that's societal. So I'm just saying that. But I think society on a whole encourages the fluidity of women because it's considered sexy. It's considered attractive. Men like it. Men aren't threatened by it.
You won't get an argument from me there.
Yeah, it's encouraged. But that's just like the fluidity of men is not encouraged at all, to where even the discussion we're having now where you're like, well, gay for pay, please, you know, and there's a similar sentiment in society at all. It's like if you even got head from a dude, Scarlet G for Scarlet Gay on your chest for life.
I think the difference is though, are women saying such things like, hey, I'm gay for pay? Women are just owning, I like women and I like men. I'm not saying all, but some women are owning, hey, sometimes I like men, sometimes I like women. Men are the ones who feel compelled to say things like, I'm gay for pay. Just say you're gay. Just say that you're bisexual, which, because I've been conditioned, I'm like, I don't think there's any such thing. You either are behaving like a gay person or like a person who's homosexual, or you're not.
See, I do believe in bisexuality. And the point that I was thinking that I can remember was I think that there isn't a parallel for women because women don't typically pay for sex just in general. It isn't a monetized thing. Like that is just something that men do regardless as to their sexual orientation. If sex is going to be paid for, more than likely a man is doing that. Women are not typically paying for sex.
But they will have sex for pay. They'll gyrate on a pole for pay. They'll have sex for pay.
They'll get paid.
They'll get paid, yeah.
But they won't pay for it.
Yeah, sure.
So if you're paying for it, more than likely you're a man. So even like with in the strip club thing, it's kind of like the parallel for women is like the Magic Mike. It's kind of like a cutesy thing, like kink. Oh wow, you know, but it's nothing compared to like the industry that exists for men to pay for women to take their clothes off. There's no parallel for that for women.
Fair enough.
But in terms of people that we all are familiar with that have expressed this sexual fluidity, like Mel B from the Spice Girls, Angelina Jolie. Yeah, Mel B.
Angelina Jolie just seemed like she's trisexual.
Just what's up? She just like, what's up?
Like whatever.
Jillian Anderson, who for a minute there was going as a lesbian.
You mean Jillian Michaels?
No, Jillian Anderson, the actress. She used to play.
She had the blonde hair.
I think she had blonde hair.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
She, for a few years, she was a lesbian, even though now she's back heterosexual. And I almost think she's married to a man now, but she was a lesbian for a lot of years.
Oh, wait a minute. From X-Files?
Yes. From the X-Files.
Didn't realize that.
Yep. Jillian Anderson was a full-blown lesbian for a number of years.
And now she's back on the other team.
Now she's back. She's fluid back hetero.
That's like Anne Hesh did the same thing.
Yeah. Anne Hesh, Jessie J. But you remember Sheryl Swoopes, the WNBA basketball player?
Yeah.
Who used to be heterosexual?
Really? She is not now?
She's not any longer. She claims that she chose to be gay, by the way. This is her quote. I'm not bisexual. I don't think I was born gay. Again, it was a choice. As I got older, once I got divorced, it wasn't like I was looking for another relationship, man or woman. I just got feelings for another woman. I didn't understand it at the time because I had never had those feelings before. So she really has an interesting take on it. She's like, I chose it. And she's not bisexual, according to her.
Hey, more power to her.
That is a different thing. But she was like married to a man and had a child.
So that brings me to an interesting dynamic, I think, that maybe is overlooked sometimes. And while some people are born that way, isn't it possible that some people just make a choice? And that's what informs their fluidity. They lean into just, hey, if we vibe, we vibe. You don't have to be, the opposite sex.
I guess so. And maybe you don't know that that's a possibility until it happens to you.
Or until you're given permission, if you will, or give yourself permission. lean into that, because for so long in this society, it was so frowned upon and taboo. And now it's like you almost have permission to, on some level, to lean into to that fluidity. Whereas before, even 10 years ago, say 10, 15, 20 years ago, that was not the case. So, I say more power to her,
But what about like someone like Niecy Nash?
That one shocked me.
Me too.
I just never pictured her. And she's another example. She's like Sheryl Swoopes. I mean, she was married to a man, had
a preacher once.
Yeah.
She was married to a preacher once. Here's the interesting thing. I wonder what her views were on this subject throughout her life, because she is really good friends with Sherry Shepherd. Okay. So I say that to say, I wonder what Niecy Nash's views on this topic were throughout her life. One, she was a first lady of a church and her first husband was a pastor. Secondly, she's good friends and has been for a long time with Sherry Shepherd, who at one time expressed very strong views against homosexuality.
Really? I don't know Sherry.
Yeah. She has evolved her views. Oh, good for her. But at a period of time, she just had, just some old traditional old school shit.
Yeah, because she used to be a Christian comedian as well.
Yeah. Some stuff that just hadn't been washed out and lived, and she did. Yeah. So I wonder if Niecy Nash, and I'm just wondering because I do not know this. I wonder if Niecy Nash had similar views as Sherry Shepherd. I don't know that she did or not, but I'm just curious if she did. But I was just shocked when she married a woman.
Right. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. One, she just strikes me as one of these women that's always like, oh, girl, I need a husband.
Right.
Right.
She seemed really hyped. And I guess that doesn't change. She's very feminine and shocked me. But I wonder too if she had views that were similar to Sherry's. I wouldn't be surprised. And then I would just add that, again, I think that we can all say what we would never do. And I just think
that's my point.
You just never know. You just never know what you would do, who you're going to vibe with, what, the universe will bring into your life and why. Right. So
yeah. And that's my point. Like Sheryl Swoopes is like, I just met somebody, and I'm going to guess that was the same thing with Niecy Nash. I'm sure if you was talking to Niecy Nash 10 years ago and told her this, she would have been like, you sound crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But how do you know? She just met somebody and it worked. I'm like, whoever you find to get you where you need to be, go for it. That's what I say. Just go for it.
Yeah. I think it's this is going to seem a little contradictory, but I just think that women who lean into their fluidity, I have a special place in my heart for them because I feel like they're open.
Yeah.
And this could be completely off base and just my perception of them. I just feel like they're less judgmental. They're more open to other people and diversity and, other people's so-called flaws and things that may make the average person cringe or embarrassed or ashamed. Brene Brown talks about sharing your shame story and people being worthy of your story. Homosexual, I like to think that they are more compassionate people.
Yeah. I mean, they live and they've had some experiences. And one other person who did this quite some time ago, which is kind of thing, she's back on TV from Sex in the City. Cynthia Nixon did it.
Oh yeah,
I believe her partner is trans.
Really?
I think, but I'm not positive. But I think her partner might be trans.
So her partner used to be a man and became a woman?
I think her partner was a woman and maybe is a trans man.
What do you make of that? Now that's really fluid. That just goes to show you we vibe, I guess.
Yeah, but look at Niecy Nash, her husband. She calls her
she's very masculine.
She's masculine.
Very masculine, yeah.
And in part of that, I give this is me being silly. Well, I give these women like a half a point because the women that they're with are so masculine.
Yeah. Does it really count if they
come on? Because Niecy Nash, husband, I can see why she liked her.
Yeah.
She like a nigga.
Yeah, she
handsome. I mean,
she's handsome. She's very handsome.
And you can tell she's like a special person. I'm not just, only speaking about her physicality. Like even like the moments that they speak with her, like I get it. You can tell she's like a really unique, special person. She's talented. She's a musician.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at her quickly, she looks like a man. So like if I were to have an attraction for her, you're having an attraction for her masculinity.
Yeah. I thought about that when I first saw that she married a woman. I was like, well, because I was like, it just blew I just didn't see it coming. I'm like, I never saw her as being attracted to women. But I think she probably was attracted to her masculinity.
She's like a handsome dude. Like that's the truth. and I don't know what the nuances of that is and what that means, but I'm gonna tell you, even when I look at that woman, I'm like, my first thing, because I didn't really know, I thought it was a dog. I was like, damn, he cute.
Right. Right.
So it's like, so in those cases, it's somewhat, and this might be my naivete, I don't know. I'm just being honest. It's not that big of a stretch, because to me, the same things that I'm attracted to in a man at first glance, that's what I would be attracted to in that person.
Right.
I mean, she got a fade.
Right.
She's in masculine clothes, her demeanor, mood,
her build,
her like built broad like shoulders and shit. Like, yeah, you handsome and shit. So it's like, for me, I wouldn't feel it. To me, it doesn't feel the same as like being attracted to somebody that looks like me.
Yeah. Although, well, okay. So along those lines, so follow me on this for a minute, because I thought about this. So for Niecy, I imagine, to your point, she probably is like, she may have never been attracted to women, but because, to your point, this young lady that she married is very masculine and is kind of like a guy. I'm sure she's like, if you have the balls to step to me, I'm gonna give you a shot. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a shot. I'm thinking of myself in terms of like, say, when younger men have gotten the gumption to talk to me, like, I'm not interested, but if you have the balls enough to step to me and you got game like that, I might listen. I
want to hear. I want to hear it. Yeah. Like, I'm just curious.
And hopefully I won't fall in love. You know what I'm saying? But you never know.
But like, that would cause me pause, because if like, I like you, I like the same things about you that I like about niggas.
It does count. It does count.
But it's like, you look like the guys I like, and you're a beautiful person.
Yeah.
I get it.
Not fair. Oh.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
So we had a very mature discussion on sexual fluidity, but, well, I guess this is going to be more the lowbrow part of that discussion.
Oh, lowbrow. Here we go.
There's an elephant in the room that we didn't talk about.
What was that?
How do you have sex that involves a penis for 50 years, then all of a sudden say, no, I can now have sex without said penis? How?
Well, I mean, there are tools and toys that mimic the peen, right? Don't knock it till you try it, is all I'm saying. I don't.
This is true.
I've been told.
I have made a decision in regards to artificial penises that for me in my home, I just want that one. I just want my penis to have its own blood flow and it to be able to maintain its own body temperature. Okay. Ideally, that's what I think right now at this stage in my life. I never say never. We all know that you don't know what you know till you know what you know. But what I believe right now, that would be like a hard change for me. Somebody be like, you know what, now let me pull out the rubber one.
Okay, but what about for those of us who haven't had let's call it the blood flow peen in several decades? I shouldn't say several decades. Let's say in a decade. I think a worthy substitute could be that toy. I mean, come on. It's a substitute.
Is it like strapped on?
Oh, that I don't know. We got to ask the expert. Yeah, we got to ask the subject matter experts we have to talk to.
I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I could be like, if a chick could come in and strap on and I'm going to be like, oh, what's up? I just don't think, that's a lot. I would need like some time.
Well, yeah. You know how they say pink?
I don't know.
Vagines are pink on the inside. Is it the same for,
a strap on?
Yeah. I mean, you close your eyes, it's all the same, right? I'm guessing.
I don't think so, but I don't know this. But it's not the same as like being stationary, like drill bitted into a body like a real penis is. Don't you? I mean, because it's not.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine it, but I'm sure with technology nowadays, I'm sure they have a way to, simulate the real thing.
Okay, so I'm sure that there are good answers to the questions that I'm asking that make sense and make this acceptable. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure that there are good answers to that. I'm just simply saying, if you're a heterosexual woman and it's like, say you're 55 years old and you just started this shit, I mean, I'm just saying, give it up. That would take some negotiating, right?
Getting used. It could if you've been active all this time for 55 years or however many years.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you go to the other team, then probably takes some negotiating. But if you've been dry and had a drought for the past 10 years, shoot, anything inanimate, a doorknob probably would do.
Could help.
I mean, it's all the same.
That is true. But probably comes down to, if you really like a person, you're going to figure out ways to make certain things work.
Especially when you consider that not all men, even if they have a pulse health are not that spectacular in that department anyways.
Right.
But if you like him, you'll make it work. He may have a small penis, or he may have, he may not be able to, maneuver, and you make it work if you really like him. I suspect it's the same for same-sex couples.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's been so long, I don't even know what I would.
I don't either. And we've said this before, and I know people say this, sex is about more than your genitals.
Who said that? Who said that bullshit? Who the hell? No, I'm just teasing. It does start before you get to the bedroom, the intimacy part.
Well, the intimacy part, but no, they're saying that sex itself is more than about genitalia.
Oh yeah, mouth, GOP. Is that what we're talking about? Am I going too gutter here?
No,
the mouth.
There's no such thing as too low. We just
what that right.
Disgusting.
What that mouth do?
What that mouth?
That's a lot. To me, if the mouth ain't part of it, then
trash.
What are we doing?
Well, they're saying like, what are we doing? Why are we here? Get your mouth right.
You assume the position.
Listen, Winnie the Pooh about to show the fuck up. So you know what it is. Well, no, they're saying sensual touching and caressing and that bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anytime I read that stuff, I just be like, it just sounds like a cheap parting gift or some shit. Like
sensual touching,
just caressing.
Oh gosh,
touch. I'm like,
it seems corny to me, but that's because I'm hating. I'm hating on people who have that right now. I'm hating on all y'all.
But that's like on Sex, Love, and Goop. Remember? They discussed this. How, we're accustomed to sex being so genitalia focused.
That is true. With the black couple, they talked about that.
Yeah, they talked about that.
He was like, what else is there? Just like bang, 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 right?
Right. Where I put it, shit.
Where you want me to put it?
Right. Tell me where to stick it. But... Well, but so, I understand that there's this new train of thinking, or I don't know, Eastern philosophy, maybe. Okay. I still am kind of like, what that dick do?
Where's the dick?
Yeah.
Where's the D?
What it do? So outside of that, did you have any other observations?
Only that's a thing. I thought that was fascinating, and I'm surprised and satisfied that somebody actually took time to study that.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. The whole thing about there's like a biological implication there. You don't need the man to procreate anymore. So that really explains to some of these older women who just like flip the script.
All right. So it happened. Our first theme month.
We did it.
We did it. February. What was the theme, Dark Phoenix?
It was the month of love, right? So we talked about all things love, but not in the regular sense.
No, we didn't. We ain't do just that typical romantic shit. We did about different that stuff. Everybody does that. We knew that. So we came hard. We came out the gate hard.
We with the cuff at first, the first week.
About Bring Surfing Pod. Mm-hmm. We talked about threesomes.
You broke it down for us.
Yeah.
And then talked about
the many loves of Janet Jackson.
That's right. Yeah. That's love, right? And then we ranked those loves.
Yeah, we went through and we was like, what's up with that dick?
That D.
That D.
Because you can't have Valentine's Day without the D.
Without the D, baby. Without the D. So we was like, what the hell? Why be nice about this? Let's rank that D. So that was fun to rank the D. Then we decided to talk about when love changes. We talked about when women go gay.
We talked about love and how they love differently.
That was a
trip. We learned
that was
things. It was a very educational month overall because we learned some things. So, and I think we had a sex quiz too.
Yeah, that's right. We did the sex quiz, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed myself too. It was fun. This was the best Valentine's Day month ever. The month of love. Had a blast. So we're teaching you things here.
Yeah. So all right, y'all. So get ready for March. That's what's up.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We've had a blast. Hope you did.
Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the SideChicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today,
We love you and thank you so much for listening.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Podfix Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Podfix Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Podfix Network, artist owned and loved.